So start recording and let's start my sharing screen. Let me know if now you guys can see my screen. Is it able to see my screen? Admin at sysintelli.com. 1, 2, 3. Cool. So we logged in. No problem. So guys, did you guys check the learning which I've sent the trails? So these three trails are very important in terms of admin. So it has the business logic, it has the formulas, roll-up summary, and advanced formulas. A couple of things they have. So if you just go quickly onto this, I think so. Whatever we've done in the class, previous classes, all will be helpful to you. Which one? This one, point click business logic. Maybe for the recruitment app you need to have it, but recruitment app. So not need to be. Mhm. Okay. So if people who are not working under the recruitment app, it's okay. Um, Ideally, what you have to do is you have to just use a use case and put into your object. Let's say already you have built what is that? A space station, build station app. S- uh, sp- yeah, space station something you have built, right? An app. To that also you can match some scenarios where you can do it. But if it is ideally they're matching to a recruitment scenario, you can build the recruitment. Recruitment app is a little huge one, and so basically again their job postings, hiring managers, a couple of things we have. Uh-huh. Mhm. Okay, no problem. So it is actually an advantage to have such app because this is also covering a multiple things in terms of process builders, or maybe you can have workflows there, automations you have there. So that's a good thing. So that's the reason I just bought this. If you are interested to create an app via through this, you can do, and then you can have a configuration, lot of configurations things you can learn there. And then we have a business logics to do a point click and check it out. And the one more we have a advanced version where whatever we saw so far thought onto the chapter number is that. So it includes all the formulas and validations. Yeah, this chapters. Formulas, fields, validation, roll-up summaries, all this we have there in the advanced. So it's all good trails. So if you just randomly open one, you can see one of them. So look at this advanced formulas they say, and how to do deal with the formulas with checkbox and other data types, and use the pick list in the formulas, text formulas, level up with advanced formulas. All these things are good. For example, if you see pick list in formulas, look at this how we write it. Is pick while I've told you, right? So the few conditions we have. So that's the reason if you have a cheat sheet with you, so you can check is pick list or pick file where we get it. So this is the data type or the API name of which the pick list value gonna select, and the pick list values are there and again checking is the this is blank, and then this is the condition that we have. Basically we are saying that it shouldn't be blank. Always we check is it a blank value, and we check out type of the pick list value is other, and we just write a condition. So you can see here case type, if this is electrical then 1 2 3 like that. So always we have uh, type, what we say it is, it's a field name, and this is a value. So likewise this guy, see they are checking the prior value. So what is the prior value? So if you are trying to modify a case, maybe the previous state was case is open, and now you are modifying it to in progress. So what is your prior value? It is open. So what is this open, and then you're saying in progress. So all these are status field of a case. So that will be a status. So what is your prior value, and what is the current value, that you can guess it here. So even that it will look good. So likewise you can have multiple things here associated it. So that way all the advanced level formulas you will get to know. If you are like very curious and understanding uh, whether we are now in a class, did we cover all the formulas, that everything? Yes, we have each and every easy examples we have. Just basically looking at this we'll get to know. So it completes about the overall formulas. See, first thing is how we are we know to create a formula field, where we're going to create. So what it is a data type, and the values whichever has been populating is right one. Are we creating the formulas on the same object? Are we trying to do a cross reference from a different object and getting the value and doing it store here? Like how we did it on an opportunity, we just try to bring the account number, whether it is available there, bring it here. If not there, so we say that it is not in a value. So like that also we can do it. So if you just all see these things, formulas would be pretty easy. So why formulas are little important is, with the formulas you can try with workflows, process builders, because we have to give conditions in few while. But always we say that the criteria we specify, right? Hey, case status is equal to open, then do some task. So there also it is directly we are specifying criteria. What if it is an advanced version where we write a custom formula? At that time, these formula conditions might help us. So I'll just go through with that today. So my agenda is for today is how do we write a workflow rules, and how do we plan a basic approval process, and we'll write a simple process builder. But tomorrow I think so we can write a quick reports, and then how do you import and export data. Already we talked about security, so even that we can cover. And these logs, all how do we track the logs, how do we insert the app exchange, if I want to do a deployment from one node to another, or I have a sample some project or where I will show you how to do a deployments. But creating a managed package and unmanaged package, we can show it in our local logs, the dev org only, because it's just we're trying to create a managed package. So by that way, and today and tomorrow, I think we should be pretty good to close this up. But I'll send for each and everything. I'll send you all the trails. Why we say trails is you did an admin course hands-on. Realistically, from the trailers, from the Salesforce point of view, are we completed? So then we did it. We will have a bunch of trail batches. So that is an added advantage, because now you're completing a training, and then later stage when you wanted to take the trailhead batches, you do not have an interest. So this is a good time to take the trailheads. So that's the reason I'm just sending you a couple of them. So on the go, if you complete, so your trailhead batch also would increase, and your learnings also would increase. So that's a key thing. Any issues or any no, where somewhere you're stuck in the trailheads, you can, again you can ask me out. So there is a lot of trade forums also. You can post your questions and get the answers. If something that didn't work out, please ask to me. So I would be the point of contact for first, and then if something I'm late or not being able to answer, or if you put in the trail community, so you would surely get it. However, we have to resolve the issues. Um, so guys, did you guys watch the previous videos? Any questions you have? I think it, Raj. Okay, Raj. So for Raj, for the suggestion is like try starting with the trails, which is very very important. So you would you. True, true, fine. No, no problem, no problem. So again, one more I have noted down for a service cloud. I don't know whether this is I sent to you guys a service cloud. This is another trail which is nice again. Understanding onto the service class perspective, like in the last class, we would have been not in the last class, maybe learning under the project perspective. Let me open this up. Okay, this is a service cloud experience where we say, how do you deal with that? A service cloud. How do you automate the case management? And how do we engage in the digital multiple channels? So again, this is the key point. So the another idea why I'm bringing the trailers is in the between is, so my syllabus would be saying that hey, go create the case management or the stuff within service cloud stuff. But comparing with this, there could be an additional things also these guys would promote. So that would be again, still useful to you. But see, look at this for case management, they have queues, assignment rules, escalation rules, auto response rule. So all they've brought it here. It is so good. And when you do some challenge, you'll get 500 points. So there's an advantage of you having it. Of course, you guys know how to create a queue, assignment rule, whatnot. All this you know, but still, same thing if you try to understand and whatever they give a task that if you simply create enough, so you will get the points. So this is the real hands-on we have, where I would have dealt with some different scenario. But these guys also would deal with a different scenario. To your small projects which you're creating in your own personal or like battle stations or um, what is that recruitment app, any app you create. So do implement this stuff for the service cloud in your or so really it will help you to gain this 500 points. Really is not only for the points or batch sake. Ideally, you are trying to do hands-on, so that is a pretty important things. We can't create such materials and keep doing this stuff. So it is already ready-made available. So we need to use it. Trade they will again. So look at this. Everything they have a given help also. What needs to be done and any additional things you have notes there. Look at this, guys. We have talked about how to edit the page layout for the console and the email templates we have created and then did a lot of stuff. And then so these are the utilities which you see in the downside. So if someone asks about what is omnichannel, so you have a context here. So those are the inputs where we get to navigate the right channels for the agents to deal with the incoming cases or issues. Entitled management, if they want to do some contract with, to what level have service level agreement done with you. Let's say within a day I have to reply back to you, or with the 1 year of contractual I have to reply you within so and so time. Service level agreements would have been there, SLAs. So all this would be key points or what do you say key terms that you need to understand while managing the service cloud. So all they have mentioned. So it will be key understanding about what is the service cloud if it comes. Likewise, we have for the sales cloud also, where they talk about quick start book for sales cloud, like something they have. I'll figure out again same something best we have. I'll send you guys. Let it be there. Okay, so that's a good thing. We have to just keep going through things and then it'll understand you well. Okay, now we're just jumping into the workflow chapter. So what is this workflows? I'll upload these content again back to our Google Drive. Have you ever heard about what is workflow? Perfect. So, Kumar, do you have any idea? Okay. So, ideally, what we do is in a workflow, first we try to define a condition. So, condition or a criteria we can mention. We require a condition. In what case I wanted to fire an email. So, whatever these actions we talk, right? So, these actions could be an email alert. So, email alert, and you can create a task. You can create what else? You can do field update, and you can send an outbound messages. So, these four actions that we can perform. But prior to performing these four actions, we need to set up our own rules and conditions. So what is workflow rules? If you say there is the one, we put a condition on create. You want to do on create. You want to do fire this, or on update. You want to fire this, or when the condition matches, or when the condition meets. That time you wanted to send. Templates we know. This is the logistic things. Why I say is because we don't know what type of conditions we have. Based on that, we need to create a template, ali UI, or what kind of text should go in. So it's before getting into some actions or rules, what needs to be fired first. What is your um, you know eh, why we are come for the workflows. Let's say an opportunity is getting closed, maybe for the nearer 3 days. So you need to fire notification to your sales guys. Hey boss, your opportunity is nearing by. So did you do anything? So that's a notification I'm gonna send. Based on that, you need to create a template. So that's the reason I put logistics. Based on the conditions, you will have your own texture what to be presented. And again, define a workflow. It states that okay. So I wanted to have a workflow for an automation rule, and this is my criteria, and these are my actions. So those all will talk in define workflows. Because in the workflows, the first thing is like what type of workflow on which object is the first one, on which object. For example, I'm trying to focus on the case, or I'm trying to focus on the opportunity. So that is my first condition. And then the next thing is you should be ready with your template. Ideally, first you should be ready with the template. What is the what I came for? So to notify sales guys what when the opportunity is nearing to end. Okay, then or the case is about to close or the case is successfully closed. I want to thank them. Or while I'm trying to create the new case, I wanted to update something, or I wanted to update an opportunity. So I would have my another field where saying that I would copy some value and update a field. So you can have case to case different things here. Slightly what I'm saying is when you want to define a workflow, which object is required, that is important. Templates, of course, you know what templates need to be prepared and fired. Fine. And rules, in on what cases I have to do it. The moment you create a new record you wanted to fire, or whenever you're trying to update, all the times you have to fire, or when a specific condition on the day and date time meets, only then you fire. I'll tell you. So creating a record. The moment I create a new opportunity, I thank for the customer saying that thanks for your interest in our product. So whenever I'm trying to update, each stage I'm just moving on to the next stage. So thanks for your approval for the moving to the next stage, and we wanted to be connected with you. So that's an update you want to give every stage when it moves. And the third condition is maybe so the close date is near. We are waiting for till the close date is near, and the moment the third day is previous before to the 3 days we wanted to fire. So the condition is on that date is meeting. So prior to 3 days before, I wanted to notify saying that your opportunity is about to close. Who do we are targeting? This we are targeting to sales rep because he's dealing that the customer. So we have to notify him to saying that his three days is nearby. So you want to do some activity, you can do it. I think when you want to get this is on this. We have a time-based workflow. We have time-based workflow. We have so it notifies on to the time-based things we have to deal with. So like 3 days prior or 3 days after, or let's say when a credit card is generated, your due date is nearing by. I want to notify to you. Um, anything on the billing things, you will all have these time-based workflows will help you out. Basically, we are notifying onto the certain time. Prior to that, 5 days or 2 days or whatever the time you give, we will notify to you. And actions, yes, of course, I want to fire an email to that guy, or I want to simply create a task to the sales rep, or I want to do a field update internally to some record change. Based on that, I have to do some activity, or I wanted to send all of this information to some external system. It could be SAP, it could be other third-party vendors, where we are trying to send in the form of. So this is a simple configuration, but they send the SOAP messages, a SOAP type message where we have a visual type information. We'll send it ideally from a Salesforce into third-party system. Again, in time-based workflows, what are the actions that we can do is all this we can do. Even the time-based action. So what are the activity we can do is all these workflow actions we can do. So any questions? Let's quickly jump on. So we got which object to deal with, which rules we have to deal with, what actions required. In the rules we know on create update when conditions meets. So this high level I just put, so it will be very quick to you guys. Hey, when I'm trying to create a workflow, what are my key things? So likewise, I'm just directly getting into workflow here. In actions, I can see alerts, field updates, task, outbound message. Do I see knowledge action? Whenever you create knowledge articles, you want to go for approval, the same stuff. Send actions is again what type of actions you send. But ideally, these email alerts, field updates, and outbound message and task are the pretty important one. Other things are like not that really, or maybe we got with the new releases to deal with. Okay, so what I want to do is I just wanted to jump into workflow rules first, because workflow rule is the one where we define what needs to be done. And in the while defining the workflow rules, so we would just use these actions, what actions I want to perform. So little examples they've given here. What is workflow? To automate few things that we use workflow. Like you wanted to automate a task to be automatically assigned to some user. When I'm dealing with a user or when I'm dealing with a task from where you are flowing from. As let's say I'm using a record. In the record, I can have multiple things. Like what? To which user? Who is the owner of the record I can deal with? Or for the particular role I can assign all these tasks to be residing to. Let's say sales team we have. I can choose whoever is the role with the sales. I can associate to that particular group. So all the tasks would go to that particular group. Anyone can pick the task and then work on. The new features that you implement in the tasks in the previous state it was for a specific people, and in the recent release we got for a group of people also we can assign a task and later on so they can accept the task and then they work on. Like how generally we have a queue where assigning to a bunch of people who are resides in a queue and they can accept later state. Same with task also we got this recently. And the email alert is something that we are sending an email to one or more people. Yes. Field updates, updating a specific field in the record. An outbound message is something that you're sending an XML type of message to a designated listener. That listener could be SAP or some system. Okay, look at this example they give me. Follow-up task to support rep 1 week after a case has been updated. The case is created, case is closed, and I'm following with that guy saying that, hey, are you happy with the service which we given to you? Are you okay? Something like follow-up task we can create. Or the moment a opportunity is created also, so we wanted to create a task to follow to that respective customer, whether we are in sync, whatever they required, are we giving the right thing? That we can do. Send a sales management email alert on every time the lead qualifies, so that we can do. Multiple things, email alerts we can do with. Change the owner field into the contact 3 days before it expires. Look at this. This is where we do a field update. Till now, you were the owner, and the date is nearing, and you didn't do make any change. I will change your owner of the, no, what is that? The record. Change owner field on a contact 3 days before it expires, because you are not doing performing great, so we have to deal that. Then again, we can give a condition that saying that hey, this status is not closed or the status is not moved in whatever condition that is met. So I'll change your contract. You are not responsible anymore. And the fourth one is automatic and ABM message we send to an external HR system for the reimbursement plus one approval expense report. There's an example they're giving it, so we can justify any API message we can send to any third party based on the conditions that what we're filing here. Okay. The other things is actually the rule always indicates what rule when to run, how to run, and what time to run. So while doing that, again we have time-based actions. Even there, we always talk about times. Again, the rules are same, but time-based actions should be there. I think this is all I have reiterated. The same thing I just given with an example here. Let's continue. Ikuba, for you, on the day the case closure was not working, right? So we have to go simply create a case status pick list, which is called as closed case or closed. So that is simple enough. We don't have any buttons in the highlighting experience. You getting? You need to simply add a pick list to the status field on a case object. So that will solve the problem. So I forgot to see you on that day. So I think this was a pending question that I wanted to ask you. Oh, this meeting will end in another for 5 minutes. Crazy one. So in the 5 minutes meanwhile, I'll show this off. Case. Do you see this? Now, whenever you just jump into a proper cases, you can see them. But did you try anyway, Kumar? No. Sometime back we're discussing on the cases, right? So the close case that we don't have, a button we don't have here. So these two things got escalated. Huh? Let me just quickly click here. So the pick list would come here as close case. Just let me accept this. I was checking other systems. Just have a pick list, and the pick list values. If you have any record type and associate to the page layout, if you have an access, for sure it will show it up here. But we don't have any. separate specific buttons to close the tickets. It's just the pick list we have. They're not appearing here. Then okay, anyway, this meeting will end and we'll restart again. So I'll show you it again. So already the status field is like closed. We have an epic list. It is not showing for certain case. I will show you what is happening. So let me deactivate this and I include, can create new one. No problem. The application. So let me share my screen. Okay. So the case status pick list is like all the cases added. So no worries, when we wanted to close, we can close it. Let's quickly jump into workflows what we targeted. All workflow rules we have, criteria that we have to run here. See the moment very beginning while he said that he wanted to create a rule. First we wanted to set a create a rules. We need to choose which object that we're working on. So we have to choose an object. Let's say whenever the opportunity stage is, um, let's say this new rule, which object you wanted to do it. Okay, so an opportunity. Let me just choose an opportunity first. So look at this. This is the three rules criteria which I was saying you. If anyone asks you an interview a question with what is the evaluation criteria that you can see in workflows. Evaluation criteria will talk about when I wanted to really fire these rules on a creating of a record. Whenever the new opportunity you're trying to create a record, do at that moment I need to fire this, or whenever I'm trying to modify a record, not only one time, it's every time when you modify a record, I always need to send an email. Even the case to case condition would be like that. Or the third one would be anytime, but I only subsequently meeting such criteria only then I'll do it. So this is on the condition meeting arrival of a particular condition, only then it will fire the third one. First and second is depends on the condition. Created, okay fine, I'll fire that. Created, or every time when it is firing, I'll just do this. Every time when I edit, I'll do this. But the sad part is in the second actions, you cannot have a time-based workflows we can have here. What do you mean by time-based workflow? Because you keep editing the record. Every time when you keep trying to edit the record, it will be very difficult to manage for a time based. Time based is our time dependent actions works on a queue logic. Let's say at the very beginning I given your no due date of every month of your credit card. Let's say you bought a credit card on some XYZ by Z day, let's say first of the Jan, and then your due date, I would say that okay, 20 days of time, 16 days of time, whatever. So 20 days of time give every month, the 20th would be your due date to pay the minimal amount, whatever the credit card you used. So why I'm defining there, whenever you have created the new card, you have enrolled for this customer, after 20 days, I have to say that is your due date. Please pay the amount, minimum amount, whatever the amount you have been charged for. It will be so easy to do that. When I say next option, the second option, I know 20th, no, first is the card is getting registered with, and due date I know is 20th. Now you are expecting here on the date what you're doing is you are marking the due date as 20th to 22nd. Now time dependent workflow would be confused in the conditions you have mentioned in the time dependent saying that 20 days I should fire. Now you are extending the date. Now you are making the credit date which is actually enroll date something I say credit card enroll date is something I say that enroll date if you keep moving in front so your due date would go little higher or lower. On the very beginning once you create I mark that enroll date as today and then I expect 20th date should be my due date. In the second condition what I am saying is if you keep trying to change your enroll date from enroll date plus 20 days is what due date is expected. If I keep changing the enroll date to 5th or 10th, my due date will jump again further because in the time dependent we are setting it as 20 days. Post you creating a record or post the enroll date is something we have. So that will be a crazy one where the record cannot go to a queue and again they cannot remove from there from the queue because already this record went for a queue to fire and notify to the customers. So going to a queue and again coming back, going to queue again coming back. So this will be a tedious process for system to understand this. That's the reason the second option they don't give a time dependent workflow. Of course, where these are used, anytime you do a transaction in a bank account, let's say you have a bunch of amount in your account. Every time you go to a transaction, you should get a notified messages. Of course, every messages why I require is because I'm doing a transaction. Even to do a single repeat transaction, you get a message, email, whatever. Why? Because it is a fun. It has been reducing or adding to your fun. So we need to be notified. We need to be keep updated. In that conditions, I think the second options would require because you are modifying every time to your account. Second option would be important. And third option is uh, first option and third option type independent workflows works because this guys works on the condition whenever it meets, and these guys they worried about one time the create. They don't care about whatever the next. So time dependent is not required for them. So created and the third option we have time-based workflows. But it says the rule is evaluated when a record is created, of course, and when the record doesn't meet the criteria is related to meet the criteria. Look at this. Subsequently meeting the criteria could mean on arrival of a record creation only the record can meet the condition, or on particular date it will come and that date will fire. Getting? Or you are voluntarily making that particular criteria to execute. Anything could be. For example, here so enroll date is today. From today, 20 days is due date. On the due date, you wanted to do some logic. On the due date day, whether I've sent a notification to you paying or not, it's secondary. On the due date, I should do some logic where if you don't pay, I may add you an interest to your valuable amount, whatever you have been about to pay for it. So subsequent limiting the criteria could be 21st day. Let's keep it. 20th day you due date you missed, you didn't pay. So I would see that the balance of due is zero. No, it's not zero. Then this guy didn't pay. So then what I do is for that amount I put some calculative interest of some percent and then add to back to the amount. And this is your interested amount. Post you didn't pay for this. So we can do all these different criteria here. So any questions on the role criteria we have? Okay, now I would do a basic things and not to do getting with this. Um, again what is one more problem with the workflow is for every single actions you know to keep creating a workflows. The drawback of a workflow is every single actions you need to keep creating a workflow. Let's say On creating an opportunity, I wanted to fire some alert. On every time when I wanted to deal with, I need to create another other workflow. Why? Because where I don't get a time dependent action, so I need to create another workflow for this on the same object. So it is something that multiple times we may be creating a workflow rules since because they can do only one action at the same time. They can't do multiple actions. That is a drawback we have. To overcome these drawbacks, we have a process builders. They can do multiple things at the same time. Where it will have if else condition type in a process builder, so that will be helpful. So we'll come to the chapter, the advance of the chapter we have third one, I think, is the process builder. So that time we'll see. So now, um, see on the moment when you try to create an opportunity, you can say that welcome opportunity you can deal with. mm, Welcome opti, that's the rule which I have. And criteria are meeting, look at this criteria meeting, you can have a formulas to evaluate. So that's the reason I was saying you, it is not always you have a criteria are met. You can say, uh, when an opportunity you create, at that time you cannot expect. mm, on a create, I think you can always welcome people, no problem. Let's get into third rule. mm, Whenever opportunity is getting closed one, it's not contains, it is equals to opportunity closed one. Yeah, opportunity is closed one or closed loss, it's fine for our. This is what I wanted it. When the opportunity is closed one, I wanted to fire something. So this opportunity closed one would not easily meet. We are making some conditions to fire it. So I wanted to choose this. Save next. Look at this. I have a time trigger to add it. I have a workflow actions to add it. So let me add a time. Basic things what I can do. I will have a task also. I'll add all the actions in one go. So assign it to. Do you have an assign to whom you wanted to assign it to? Either a user or a group, whichever you choose, you can do it. You see this user, role, owner, creator. Role, if I go, I can have a multiple roles like this. Under the roles and subordinates, everyone who can get it. So now if I want to choose specific user, I can choose users here. So I'll choose batch 20 is admin, not started, subject, um, talk to customer. What is the due date? Opportunity close date, no, the rule trigger date. So the moment you're closing the case, that means the rule is firing there. So the rule trigger date will do it plus 3 days. Opportunity close date, so minus of 3 days or 1 day or 2 days. Let it keep. But we can't test this. So what I'm going to do right away now is I will create a workflow where my rule state is whenever they closed one, I need to fetch something. Um, I think this tip time depend I can have. So what is my role? Third option you can put subsequent limiting the criteria. Opt is an object, and third option I've chosen actions. I'm choosing rule triggered it instantly fire for me. The moment the case is getting sorry the opportunity is closed one, I need to fire this guy to saying that hey please talk to customer and thanks thank for the deal. Guys getting when the opportunity stage is closed one, so I'm having a task to talk to customer. Maybe who is talking to customer could be your CEO or your other business channel partners. They wanted to thank them. We know that a sales rep is working with this guy to the customer. Now on the closer arrival, so we have another entity like a who is associate managers from the for the sales rep. So they again will talk to customer saying that hey, do you are we comfortable with it or you have all the necessary informations we have well supported whatever the things that you want. Some actions that you can do it. Email alert. For this we need to have an email alert. We don't have any emails. Um, I think we have to create one such. So let me quickly create two three no, email template just like cloning. So we don't have much. Quickly let's create. And even in the workflows, we have to create saying that you are approved, rejected. Quick templates we have to create when we come in there. HTML let's use it. Say next. Available for use. I say opti closed one. The generic address already we have a logo that is doing here, and then I'm just giving from a letter. So description is um, thanking for closure. When opportunity is getting closed, you're just thanking for them. Say next. So you can say dear, and you have an opportunity, right? So opportunity. So these are the objects. So many objects you have. I'm choosing the opportunity respective fields I want, and I'm just choosing the specific user of the opportunity. Who is that? For my opportunity, it will be under my owner's first name, no opportunity name, no. I'm dealing with an opportunity. I need to connect with the owner. So if you want to have a client name or something, so you can create a separate field called as client name, and then you can have a field here so that the client name would be populated here. So you can directly choose a client name here. If not, it's fine. So account name, account is the one who is already the owner. Uh, Dear account name, thanks for the closure. On the opportunity, we look forward to work with you. So next, copy text from HTML version. So what I want to do is, you have to reiterate again, save it. Let me clone this again, and I will create one more where I will say for time-based workflow, opportunity close due date. Save. So this I'm saying that where you close it is nearby. So when don't say thanking for closure, customer opti close date is arriving nearby. So where you can choose opportunity close date. So close date that time it will specify here. So we would require this. Opportunity customer opti sales. So customer opti close date is arriving nearby this date. And dear customer, this all is fine. Um, no, it's not dear customer this time. This time opportunity owner. Who is working with this opportunity. So to that guy, basically sales rep, to that guy I'm notifying saying that, hey dear owner of this case or opportunity whatever, um, so we can put the same message. Hmm. Customer up to close nearby, thanks. Uh, Auto email, save it. Edit text version and copy from text. So this will have the latest one. Yeah. So we have two templates ready. So we'll deal with now this. So now let's come back to our email alerts. Well, because we're firing an email alert saying onto the close date what we wanted it. So here what I'm trying to do is, so we are trying to create a case. On a case closure, we are just saying that thanks opti closure. Opti close one. To my section, to the people who are here. If you have a group, you can send to a group, public groups, queues, whatnot. Everyone we can send it here to whoever we require. Look at this related user. Who becomes a related user? Uh, for this opportunity, if you have any customer email, so they I can target to them, mm, or I'm just generally sending to the people. Still fine. So if I say a related user, so if any email ID if you have, I can send to their email ID. Maybe the customer email ID if you have, I can even send to the email field. I don't have any email field here. Look at this. I don't have, so that's the reason I cannot have. But I can just send to the couple of people who I wish to. So that's the reason I've added all. Um, in that case, if I want to send additional emails, I can give you guys a name. Oh, this I'm doing it here. Hey, rep dev sales. Who is this user? I think for Riza Kumar or Raj. Okay, then I should send yours also. Okay, save it. So workflow is ready. So task is ready. An email edit is ready. What are the other actions? Field update. I'm just doing this field update, just basic stuff. Field update to description. If I have, I can update. So probability stage one. I don't have any. There's an option description. To the description, I'll try to update. Um, Closed one. Thank the customer. You see this? Whenever I'm doing a closed opportunity one, I'm doing a field update saying to the description field, opportunity description we have. To that field, I say opportunity closed one. Thank the customer. Save it. Oh, this cannot be separate. Sorry, it's a text field. Task email field update. One more action is outbound message. Let's quickly try that as well. Hmm. If something that you want to do immediate fine actions to outside the people on a close closure, you want to head to the third party system, take this opportunity and broadcast to other people who are tied up to the same or fire OB fire outbound to customer interest, something like this. So URL, this is a random URL. This should be a third party URL where you're trying to hit. We are sending all the information. What you are sending it, account ID, close date, total opportunity quantity. Randomly, I'm saying choosing the fields. which I wanted to send. Let's say these are the fields which is going to hit to the third party system. So there's an outburst message. We have thinking that it will fire. So let's save it. So all I could see here is the opportunity closed it is something. Whenever they closed one, we're gonna fire this. But a time dependent action is the crazy one here. Time dependent actions should be, um, let's say, on a due date before I need to work on. I need to on a due date before I need to showcase something. Then only the time dependent workflow will help you out. For example, on the closed date, our rule criteria is something is that opposition is close equals to closed one. Um, so this thing will not try to fire the time dependent workflow. Why? Because on a closed date only I'm trying to do it. So what a time trigger can do? Maybe after a closed date, we can 3 days after or 4 days after to follow up something. We have a task. So like if I told like a scenario where credit card and all, um, before a closure date or before a due date, I wanted to send a notification to you. So then only the time trigger can help. But what I'm trying to do is the condition is not meeting there. Condition is not meeting there, so we can have some other condition there. But I'll show you how the time trigger works. So welcome. 30 days after rule trigger date. You can have it. Let's say close date. 2 days after close opportunity close date. Fine. After 2 days, I'm just saying that you can do some activity. You can do prior also. You can do past also. So I can do here only is the past thing. Post action opportunity closed the race. After 2 days, I'll send an action saying that follow up with this guy. Assign to. So you can say this time dev sales rep and say that connect for the need, connect for help. Any if any requirement is there for help. So due date is rule trigger date plus 0 days. No anything. So I just want to directly connect. Guys, getting after the opportunity close date, whatever we have chosen, and then post that 2 days, we're gonna fire it. Any questions here? There's any questions here? So what is my rule criteria? So our stage is close one, fine. So whenever the subsequently meeting the criteria only, then this will fire. And so there are a couple of tasks which we have, and again we have an action saying that the moment you close our opportunity, post that 2 days after, I'll do a time different actions. So this is not only after 2 days, you can have the other rules after like after 30 minutes also you can do. Let's say I will not give 0 days, I'll give hours, I'll choose after I choose and save it. So this for testing purpose we can use it. So when I say 0 hours, at least 30 minutes it will take. Post close date after an opportunity after 30 minutes, I'll just get it. Connect for help. So this I'll get it. You getting? So we can't fight for 2 days, right? So at time to base we're going to check. With 30 minutes I can check it. Okay, so we are good with. So what do you mean by immediate time blow action is something that whatever the change happened to this, I'm just firing immediately. That is what immediate time dependent action. What is that? Uh, Immediate workflow is something that instantly it will work out. Time dependent is based on the conditions on what close date you're choosing before or after of some days. Those that comes under time dependent actions. Yeah, I think we have used all the workflow actions and we have chosen the which time dependent actions that we want to choose. So finally all of creating and then you have to need to activate it. So who should be a default workflow user? Because something goes wrong, you have to notify the user. I'll keep admin. Any automated processor user email you wanted to give. So this is the email which will be often sent to the people saying that from this particular guy, an email has been automatically fired. So these are the pre settings that you need to for automation settings. What if something then goes wrong? Who all to be notified? So let's save this. Anything went wrong? User who lost modified or change the process to them in email alert would be fired. The errors I'm saying. We can add a new time triggers to activate this rule. No problem. I can go keep adding my time dependent workflow actions. To do this, what I have to do is I have to deactivate and I have to go and add it. While on the active triggers or active workflows, you can't do any change. You need to deactivate them, you need to modify, and then you have to activate it again. So don't forget, you would create a workflow every time, and you may be forgetting to activate it. Then you will never see the changes what is happening. A silly mistake we do. So please, on a working of an optimal processor, whatever workflows we have, we need to activate them. So currently we have activated. So what is our now key things that we have to do? Go back to your opportunities. Some of those are existing opportunities for account. So look at this opportunity already had this much amount. So why I'm coming again here is because if I have one more opportunity, so then in my roll-up summary I'll have multiple values. It will accumulate these value plus another new opportunity which is coming in. So I'll try to create another opportunity for Zamanath. So going to click on new. This time is trying to buy some term cap insurance, and this would be amount of 6 lakh. Close date. I'm just giving today. Sorry. Stage. I'm just putting it in the need analysis at the very beginning. So then later at the stage I change it. Save it. Now our trigger has been captured. And trigger has been captured. And check for any emails we have. So now what I do is I go to this opportunity and I'll try to close this because now the condition is meeting. So maybe here after it will fire. Do you see this? What is the amount we have? 9,500. When I put a probability of perception 70 percentage, it says that out of this is the expected amount. So now what I do is I'm going to do a stage as closed one. I click on save. So now your stage is closed. Hmm? Now the stage is closed. Look at this, talk to customer. Instantly a new task has been assigned to me. You see this here, as you can see a notification here quickly. If the task is associated to some other sales rep or someone, so he would have got this notification to him. Why crazy it's saying 11 hours ago? May the time not be the same. Look at this. The immediate notification I got is talk to customer because ideally yes we have created the case right away opportunity and then we got it. Let me check. I could open my emails here. My Chrome crashed. So that's the reason I need to open up here. So I think you guys all should have got an email. If you check your email. So for me, I got thanking for closure. So I think everyone we got the email. So thanks for the closure of the application. We look forward to work with you. So we are thanking for the closure. So now after 30 minutes, I'll get another task which is saying that. Okay, where's that? Talk to customer is the, I got it. Opportunity close, I got it. An email. Outbound message, I should quickly see. Um, there's an outbound monitor to it. Workflow action. See, monitoring outbound messages. Let's quickly check that. Any emails or any third party this thing that is been delivered. See the newest items for the delivery. So this was the outbound message is fired. Actually, there's no such endpoint URL which has been there because endpoint URL is google.com. It doesn't works. I know. So what we are sending it, five fields value we are sending to the third party system. If I just click for the visual file, you'll see. Mm, yeah, no problem, no problem. So on a save of the closure of the opportunity, this is the immediate. This is a big XML thing that would fire, and this always goes to the third party system. So this happens on each and every times when you do a modifying the an opportunity just fire to a closed one. You can see the four actions would fire. One is task, email alert, outbound messages, and there's also a field update. So let me quickly check the field update. Look at this description also got updated. This is a field update I did. Opportunity close one, thank the customer. I think all the actions are worked out. Now the last pending activity is uh, within after 30 minutes only it will try to fire. Was that time dependent action? So it will say that help the customer if anything he wants. Ideally it should be 2 days after where he is comfortable enough and saying that hey are you okay with this to check with this. Any issues if you have so we can have the time based workflows. So any questions Kumar? Okay, this session will end in another 5 minutes. Um, what we do? So, uh-huh, yeah, should we continue tomorrow? Yeah, the complete approval process got over. Sorry, workflow got over. If I want to explain in one go tomorrow, I should do with the approval process. I would try to do a approval process and process builder at the first session, and then I'll try to maximum cover other steps. Maybe it takes one more day. I think so. Let's see. No problem. Okay. Tomorrow also you can connect, right? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Bye, Kumar.